Ktunaxa, the Silex, and the Saanich people, and is home to the Métis and many diverse Aboriginal persons. We honor their connection to the land and rivers and respect the importance of the environment to our strength as a community. And then I think we'll just jump to the consent agenda. So if anyone had anything they wanted to pull out, we can talk about it. Oh, there. So, okay, I assume we're okay. So yeah, just pass the motion that the Nelson Board accepts the consent agenda as presented. All in favor? Or motion? Sorry.
Did you see who?
I was going all.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd say that motion passes. Next, I guess we'll move on to the Chief's report.
Perfect. Thank you, Chair. Happy to be back for a short spell for 3 weeks this time. As Donovan's on the Chief's on a well-deserved holiday. My report is verbal this time as I just landed got into town yesterday. So I'm happy to give a couple of updates for you folks. We last time I was here actually swore in Special Municipal Constable or Community Safety Officer Mateo Valdez. Happy to say that he's going to be sworn in as a regular constable tomorrow.
Great.
Probably in this very room by me, so it's fantastic. He'll be in the recruit class that starts I believe it's Monday next week. So we're sending one recruit off to the JIPC. He's done very well over the summer. He's a really nice fellow, so I'm glad that he's off to the academy, so it's fantastic. Looking forward to his next chapter. In the interim, I believe you know that we hired Community Safety Officer Tabarot, Emily. She's completed her training, and I'm told she's doing very well. Logging lots of hours out in the community, doing ride-alongs, getting to know some business folks, and interacting with the community sort of on a daily basis when she is working. She is also doing various other duties as dictated, so or as the job requires. So she's doing very well, all things considered. Anything to add on Emily, Inspector?
She's been fantastic and well received from the members. A lot of great comments about her.
And lastly, on one of the postings that just went out as I was leaving was the victim service worker / restorative justice coordinator, and that person has been hired. I have not met her yet, Melanie Briscoe. She was a successful candidate, and I'm hoping to see her at some point this week or next to get to know her. Any comments? Perfect. One thing I want to do is this came up in the last board meeting, and I actually have to sign up myself, but a reminder of the inaugural Nelson Police Memorial Run, September the 21st, in honor of Wade Tidmore and Cosmo Matthew Nolet. So September 21st, Lakeside Park. It's a 9 o'clock start. Registration, directions, etc. is all on the website, the Nelson Police website. So I think it's a 5K run.
5K run walk.
Inspector, are you running?
I'm organizing. With Shiloh.
I expect the Nelson Star to be there.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
For the camera.
With your running shoes on. So yeah, it'd be great if you could spread the word or share that with your obviously cohorts. That'd be really good. I'll turn it over to Inspector Juice for any public ops updates you would like to share.
Part of the operations will go into a bit of the statistics that are in the new business. So we've noticed a considerable decrease in a lot of crime stats over the past year from January 1st to August 1st, specifically involving drugs or alcohol. We've seen a 77% decrease from 2024 to 2025. Theft-related files, we've noticed a 46% decrease, and break and enter is a 64% decrease. I think a few of the factors that could be contributing are some of the problematic clients have either been in custody or have departed town. We've had an increase in visibility and patrols with increase in resources, which has been fantastic. And we've continued to collaborate with community partners and residents, including the success of the North Shore Inn. So I think it's a good effort all around from the community and from police. And with that, our violation tickets have gone from 81 tickets total for January 1st to September 3rd, 2024 to 231 tickets. So just showing that we're out there and present and visibility has increased substantially.
Violation tickets, like
traffic tickets.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I got a text about that.
So that there has been quite an increase, especially in the last 3 months with visibility as far as traffic enforcement goes.
Awesome.
I think I mentioned last time that Nelson is part of the repeat property offending intervention pilot, along with Kelowna and Nanaimo. So we're in the early stages of that. We've submitted 10 names to go on this list. And what it is people are familiar with the repeat violent offenders intervention program. It's that people are on a list and there's a team consisting of Crown, probation, sheriffs, police that monitor these people. And if they're committing crimes in the community, they seek to hold them in custody and get longer sentences because they've been deemed to be repeat violent offenders, or in this case, repeat property offenders. So we've submitted a list of 10. We have a meeting on Friday, and that is going to be really the first meeting with the team that consists of myself, and Kelowna RCMP, and Nanaimo RCMP, and the sheriffs and probation. And the purpose of the meeting is to formulate the program mandate, the target population, so the people that we're identifying for the program, the timeframes, and the measure of success. So that'll be Friday. Will be really the beginning of that program. The EDI committee had a table at the night market. We had a lot of good conversations and engagement from the community. We handed out, over 200 bracelets. Pass that around.
And that's marked and numbered, so it's got to come back.
The serial number's been registered with the department.
We had myself, Shiloh, Barb, Lena, Shalina, CSO Mateo Valdez, and dispatcher Harm Singh that were at the table throughout the course of the night. So we had a really good turnout. And our next meeting is in 2 weeks.
23rd or something?
Can I ask a question going back to the step?
Yes.
Sorry. What is residence 1, residence 2, residence?
Oh, sorry. So that was specific to the stepping stones. So there was a letter drafted. I'm not sure where that letter went, but it was specific to the letter addressing concerns around the stepping stone shelter. So those were residences and businesses within that block. So those are reduction in calls, or the call volume that we've seen in relation to last year. The report that I've provided you is the Health IM report from August. So for those that don't know, the Health IM is an app that we use now for mental health apprehensions. So there's 2 components to it. One of it is an assist police officers with whether to make an apprehension or not. So you fill out forms and it will give you a guide, say, yes, this person should be apprehended or maybe not. And then it also shows the follow-up once we're bringing the people to the hospital, how long things are taking at the hospital and how long officers are occupied. So this is a monthly report that we get from Health IM. And that is it from the ops side.
I'll just add, if I might, Chair, just on the crime stats and the decrease we saw in a number of areas is the inspector touched on the visibility, certainly the sheltering and some of the space available to house people. The fact that Nelson Police is out there writing tickets, probably the resurgence of the CSO program to a certain extent. They got to come back to visibility. So the police departments work very hard, and I don't think that you can actually pinpoint one sort of reason. In smaller jurisdictions, yeah, 1 or 2 criminals, maybe leave town and your call vote goes down, but these are not all indicative of crime. So I'm pretty proud to read these when I came back, but I do have to say, and I said this to the board before, is can't be satisfied with status quo. There's good forward motion in this department. The department is building your resources back up, and that just can't stop. Because as soon as you're satisfied with status quo, you start to be, community starts to be complacent, and things start to sliding. This community should be proud of what the department has done thus far, and should not let their foot off the gas as far as support. So thank you for that.
How are we kind of pushing these changes to the community?
Do it right now.
So actually, it's going to be
I'm sure Tyler's going to have some.
there'll be a media release coming out probably tomorrow with respect to the crime statistics and the changes over the year.
Certainly speak. So the stats were actually a Nelson Star request to the department. That's how this came about. Working on a story with the shelter area right now. And so that's where I'm not taking credit for the project.
I got a mover that the Nelson Police Board
Here.
received. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, before we go on, can I ask a question? Can I understand the rationale for combining victim services and RJ?
I'll take a stab at that with my sort of limited knowledge. There was a number, there was allocated hours within the budget, and there was a component where restorative justice was brought in. I can't remember how long. Right. Restorative justice coordinator was coming into, and we have to look at potentially the budget on the number of person hours per job description and the amount of funding that's allocated per job description, per person hours. The thought at the time was to combine one of those positions so that the RJ position, the RJ coordination, restorative justice position was not lost due to funding. It's the best of my recollection.
Mm-hmm. It just seems like there might be a conflict in someone coordinating restorative justice and doing victim services at the same time in terms of what they might suggest to victims, for example, which, how do you have oversight as to whether or not it's appropriate? That's all I was thinking. They just seem to be in conflict.
And that's a great point. It's something that probably we can make a note and do, report back to the board, say in 6 months' time, this person just started.
Mm-hmm.
I see the inspector's taking his note on how much is great. Just to
Guys,
see how
I
that's
have
working.
guidelines in terms of how they approach victims and whether or not RJ discussions come into that.
Yeah, and I think we have to be mindful of the sort of resourcing balance versus a coordinator, not a practitioner position of RJ. Right, this person's coordinated on running the sessions or whatever. So, something we're looking at.
Thank you.
I get a mover that the Nelson Police Board proceeds to accept the Chief Constable report as presented. Seconder, Christine, and all in favor? Motion passes. Kind of skipped number 5, kind of just jump around until she shows up. I don't know if anyone had any
I
business.
can give my report. I made notes. I love the little notebooks you get when you go to a conference. So I was at CAPG so the Canadian Association of Police Governance does like a Canadian police governance conference, and it was in Victoria this year, and it was quite interesting. I thought actually the most interesting thing was the last session was the most interesting session, and of course there was like 1/3 of the people there. But I'll get there in a second. So keynote speaker was Paul Brandt. Yes, that Paul Brandt, country music singer from the 90s. So he has started an organization called Not in My City. And he has been doing work for the last almost 20 years around human trafficking. And so his organization offers free education. So if you're a traveler, for example, you travel a lot, you can go and take their like online webinars. And it apparently is quite, especially in our bigger cities, is actually like quite the issue. I really had no idea. He told me that he told me personally. No, he told us that Calgary's actually opened a room in their airport to support people who have been identified as victims of human trafficking, and it's so busy they have to open a second room. So yeah, it was actually like quite an interesting presentation. I also I said to Shiloh today, all of the sessions they recorded everything because they were also offering it online. So it's actually really quite well done, the little bit that I've looked at. So if anything piques your interest, all of those videos just appear to be on Vimeo. I just had to like sign in to my Vimeo account to access them. Then some things that, so there we were talking about building and maintaining, one of the sessions with building and maintaining effective relationships between like a police service board and the chief. So, so some organizations actually have like a board chief kind of communications policy, like how we interact. Something they were talking about is the idea of connection versus direction, so that like we actually connect. I think we do a really good job here. We actually have, I think, a healthy relationship with the chief, where we're not just like, telling him what to do, and that support. That being said, that support and accountability are like two sides of the same coin. So while it's important to support the chief, it's also really important that we make sure that we're assuring accountability. And that we should think about having a board rep at management and association meetings, because it gives us an opportunity to actually like assess the climate in the department. Because otherwise we're just hearing it when we're here. So, and another way for us to like really build those relationships is ride-alongs and dispatch days. So actually, I'm going to talk to you about that later, Shiloh. But that actually doing ride-alongs and spending some time in dispatch really gives us the opportunity to like really understand the culture a bit differently, right? Like when we're having conversations and we're spending time with people in the department. And that if we do any internal surveys, that that information should be shared unfiltered to us. Like we shouldn't get a report on the survey answers. We should get survey answers, so that we can make our own decisions around that. And trust but verify. So trust what's being told, but also verify. So then there was a really interesting one on, it was defunding and decriminalization, kind of a look back. I can't remember exactly, I didn't make a note about the defund stuff, but it's like about detasking. I mean, we don't want police to be also mental health professionals. That, so they touched on that a little bit, but the decrim stuff that I found really interesting was, I don't know if everybody knows this, but before BC went ahead, like the BC Association of Chiefs of Police supported decriminalization, but that being said, before the legislation was enacted, started raising the alarm around the fact that there was actually no provisions to deal with public consumption. And so then we lived it, right? We all know what that looked like. And that the reality is that the supports weren't put in place. The supports that were supposed to be there in order for this legislation to be effective really never materialized. Really interesting work. There weren't workshops. Sessions on First Nations police governance. Now I can't remember what the name of there's one First Nations police organization. I think it's in Northern BC. And so they were talking about like challenges versus opportunities. But what's really interesting about it is that it's they're funded federally, and they only have year-to-year funding. Like they don't know if they're going to have funding the following year. The woman who is the chair of the board has been there for like over 20 years. And it's tied to the Treasury. And so the Treasury may audit them like 3 years later and be like, oh, actually this trip actually isn't approved, and we'll like claw back funding. It was a really interesting look at kind of colonial practices in regards to First Nations people. It's like, oh yeah, for sure, you can have your own police unit, but there's all of these like really interesting strings attached.
It's a significant concern in Ontario.
What's that?
It's a significant concern in Ontario.
Yeah, because there's a number of them. I met a few different folks from different departments. We just have the one in BC. So
Yeah.
that's it. Thank you. So it was eye-opening, because I didn't understand that. Like I assumed that it was funded the same way that we are, like by the community, and that it was. But no, it's funded federally, and it's like very, like they can't. How do you strategic plan when you don't know what your funding is going to be from year to year? or if you're going to have funding from year to year.
I want to interject a quick comment. All federally governed under the Indian Act.
Yeah.
Indian bands have the same funding model. So you are funded per student, and if you don't have enough students to go into school, they give you less money, and you don't know until about 3 weeks before the school season starts how much money you get. All of it is under, and so there is a push. So 60% of the bands are not under the Indian Act. It sounds like that band is under the Indian Act, which means that they do have to rely on the federal government for everything. So there's no self-governance. But that's, and it is like for everything in them, for their health, for everything, it's all funded on a per year basis, and it can disappear any year. So.
I didn't actually write down what the acronym is. The FNIPP was developed in the 90s, so to allow for these detachments, but with no consultation, right? Like it wasn't done in consultation with the communities. It was just, oh sure, here you go, some money. And then strat planning. So I mean, we've just done our strategic plan, so we're not, we're kind of 4 years out from doing another strategic plan, but a couple of kind of interesting things. The first one being the hallway test. So stopping officers in the hallway and being like, hey, what do you know about our strategic plan? Was an interesting way to see whether or not the strategic plan is actually, like if it's just a thing that we've done as a kind of.
If it actually influences.
Yeah, that there's actually like an understanding about the, because it's supposed to be the strategic plan for the whole department. So I thought that was really interesting because I had, strategic planning is like kind of new to me in the last 5 years or so. And so that I thought was really interesting. Is like they call it the hallway test, where you just like stop people in the hallway and are like, hey, interested to know what you know about our strategic plan. So
can I just make a comment on that?
Yeah.
The board is planning to meet with the association and talk about the strategic plan. So, we certainly are planning engagement with members and the board in terms of hopefully raising the level of awareness. And I'm sure from a deputy chief inspector perspective that, that's top of mind too in terms of interactions and understanding. I'm just wondering though, I know we had talked about sort of reporting per the strategic plan, and I'm just wondering, and maybe this isn't the right time, but at some point maybe understand if we're incorporating that format, because that might be another layer of awareness.
It's a great time. We're meeting next week on.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
The matrix that was presented, the June board meeting.
Yeah.
Just a comment on that hallway test, if I might.
Yeah.
From my perspective, strategic planning shouldn't be sort of a Brazil adage top down, because we actually have to be strategic planning on what the department can do, what's meaningful for our staff on what they do day to day, and apply the lens of where the department direction of the department should be going, as well as your governance and your oversight and sort of your goals and objectives of the community of the department. But I find throughout my career, sometimes officers don't know what the strategic plan is because they were either never consulted or they didn't have or had nothing to do with their day-to-day activities.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to make sure that we have here a two-way street, reporting back on the objectives and actually have those objectives in meaningful fashion that relate to the goals and how we're doing.
That's a really interesting.
We did survey the staff when
Yeah.
we did the strat plan,
Yeah.
and they incorporated that.
Yeah, totally.
And another good thing is that the strat plan is actually in the hallway.
Oh, awesome. So it's an open book test. Yeah. I love it. I love it. And so, in talking about strategic planning, there's, the need for like a long-term vision, but that also we should be incorporating what they call 90-day sprint goals. So that it's not just, we have this 5-year plan and then we get to end of 5 years and we like, what did we do in that time? But it's actually, it's a living thing. And that we're, every 3 months, it's like we're setting goals to meet those priorities in the strategic plan that are achievable, obviously. But that it's kind of that mesh of a long-term vision with short-term goals. And then the last kind of question note I have here is how are we getting feedback from the community? Which I do believe we had Angus Graham come in and do our strategic plan with us, and I do believe he did do some work out in the community. I know he went to nonprofits and different community organizations to get their feedback. So, and then there was just like a short little like 10-minute presentation by Out of Control, which is queer. It's kind of within, and it's like represents queer officers, which when we think about maybe like connecting with the Pride and queer community here, maybe they're an organization we want to reach out to, because I know like we just had Pride and there was a letter in the paper and that maybe they're an organization we want to reach out to, but they have so they're mostly it seems like in the Lower Mainland. They've got 25 active members. They do youth outreach, so that was really neat. It was just really short though. It was like a 10-minute, like the break was 20 minutes and there was 10 minutes before the next session where.
And they will come out. So I sat on, for a very short time, I sat on the executive committee when they expanded out to the island and did a tour around the island, and it was fantastic. I'm sure that they will come out to Nelson once we start getting that organized.
Totally, yeah, I think, yeah, totally. So, and then there was Vancouver talked about public order, and they were just talking about, when we think about public order, key public order, we often think like, so they often talk about like, kind of like riots or protests, but they were saying they were talking about this, like, so those are public order events where they have to, call lots of officers, but they decided, so they actually focused on the fact that they just had a massive positive public order event with the Taylor Swift concerts where they saw like tens of thousands of people in and out of Vancouver over a couple of days, I believe. So that was really cool, and that they see their job there as keeping the peace as opposed to being like upholding the law. It's like about actually just like maintaining a positive experience for people, traffic moving, making sure that So that was really cool, and then so this last one was really interesting, and it was Dr. Robert Tanguay. And he's in Calgary, and Calgary is doing some friggin' amazing work around unhoused people and addiction. He's like, in BC, like if someone comes to a healthcare professional and is like, I want to get clean, I need help, we're paying a month for a referral. 24 hours in Calgary. They've taken a housing first approach. They have they actually are at like 70% capacity. Like they are not filling all of their voluntary care beds. But they do have involuntary care as well. And it was the first time I find that when we talk about involuntary care here in BC, like it's kind of like with this decrim thing, it was like, oh, we didn't think about public use. And then we still haven't put in place the voluntary care. And now we're talking about involuntary care, but we still haven't done this middle bit where it really appears like Calgary has done this middle bit. And he also comes with his brother, like, and he spoke about this in the thing. His brother died of an overdose, and two of his best friends, like a childhood friend and a young adult, like best friend, both died of overdoses. So that's also like really personal for him. And so what the analogy he gave when talking about involuntary care was, if somebody is standing on a bridge and they are going to are going to commit suicide, the police come, the ambulance comes, the fire truck comes, like whatever it takes. Because if that same person is under the bridge, using poisonous drugs, we don't give them any thought. And it was really powerful. I actually, like, of all of the ones, if you're going to watch any of the sessions in that email, I highly recommend watching this one. It was really, really powerful. And it was too bad that it was the last session because, like, there was a third of the audience there by the end of Saturday, Like, it was really unfortunate because it was really, really interesting. But that Calgary's got on-demand voluntary care. Like, within 24 hours, if somebody is like, I want to get clean, they are in care. Whereas, in a model where it could be months, when we're dealing with poison drugs, that person may not make it to care. It was really so, and that was the last session of the weekend. So those were the things, those were my big takeaways.
Where's next year?
Edmonton. Yeah. No seafood next year. Oh, dinner was at the Royal BC Museum. This is actually really cool. And on the top floor, they have it's called Old Town. And it's this old kind of replica Victoria back in the day. That's where cocktail hour was. It was really neat. It was really cool. And then dinner was, chicken and salmon together on a plate.
No red wine allowed.
No red wine. I don't know. I don't drink. I just had a club soda. So I don't know. But it was really, that was pretty cool. And then I guess the last night they had arranged whale watching, but I went for dinner with some friends because I still live there. So that's that. Yeah, it was a nice conference. Lots of nice people. Every time I said Nelson, Jason Laidman's up there. It was lovely though. You were, like I said, Jason, you're very highly thought of. It was it was pretty lovely actually. Yeah. So no problem. And Chris Rice says hello to those of you who know him. Mm-hmm. I was looking for somewhere to sit and I turned around and Chris was right in front of me. So our former inspector. All right, that's me.
That was great.
Thanks.
Yeah, I just keep playing the inevitable. I think we've gone through the stats.
We heard from her. Then I think we should maybe just do it. I think at this point it's 5 after 5.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that works. So, we'll just get back to number 2. Maybe we start off with just quick introductions from Sue, and go to swearing in.
All these people know me already. Up to you, Karen.
I'm Karen Bennett. I'm excited to be on the board. I feel like I have a ton to learn, but I think.
Okay, well, I didn't know if we were doing general introductions, but anyways, I'll introduce myself later.
All right,
Swearing in.
let's do it. And you guys are not getting away with just those couple of words because I have a couple of bios.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So we'll do the affirmations here in front of the flags. I'll start with Sue. So come on up. Okay, thanks. And I will go through Sue's career for the sake of the public. Sue has over 30 years experience as a business consultant and project manager, managing teams, solving complex problems and major change initiatives across a wide variety of industries. Hospitality, nonprofit, performing arts and museums, healthcare, software development, banking, pharmaceuticals, manufacturing, and a lot of others. I feel like she worked or volunteered with local organizations, including the Nelson Police Board. So, second.
This is my second tour, yeah.
Good for you. Well done. Whitewater Ski Resort, fantastic. The Public Library, Street Fest, Nelson Museum, and a number of other nonprofit agencies that she's been involved with. Sue's education is in languages, including French and Spanish, and a British Sign Language in translation. She's currently learning Danish to be able to talk to her grandchildren.
Yes.
Which is fantastic.
Unfortunately, they speak English, which means my efforts are usually ignored.
She's an avid traveler, and when home, she can be found relaxing, enjoying and relaxing. So we will walk through this. I'll give you the fancy copy. You have done this before, but this is a Nelson Police Board affirmation of confidentiality. So I'll read the first part where I say my name, you can say yours, and then I'll break. After me. Okay. I, Jason Laidman, do solemnly affirm that.
I, Sue Adam, do solemnly affirm that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially perform my duties as a member of the Nelson Police Board. I will not, except in the proper performance of my duties, disclose to any person any information obtained in the course of those duties.
Thank you. We'll do the signing right here. Copy. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, board member Sue Adam. Welcome back.
I know Charlotte's taking pictures.
Hold that up.
Thank you.
All right, fantastic.
Is this my copy?
I think
Or do
I
they both
give
go
them
back
both
to you?
to Shiloh.
One, sure.
Okay.
All right, Karen, your turn.
Good timing.
Oh, perfect timing. There we go.
I think there's a seat in that.
First
back.
meeting.
It's,
There's
a seat right there.
Here.
The proud moments. Welcome. Karen Bennett is a dedicated professional with a diverse background in real estate, business ownership, publishing, and community leadership. A Nelson native, she and her husband returned to raise their family, now spanning 4 generations
Yes.
in the community. Fantastic. Professionally, she's led ventures in family real estate, publishing, and senior roles with Black Press.
Tyler and I know each other.
While also serving as a publisher of the Nelson Star. That's a small town. Her community service includes leadership with the Nelson and District Chamber of Commerce, Columbia Basin Alliance for Literacy, Rotary, and various arts and literacy organizations. She also volunteered extensively in youth sports and co-led mental health awareness initiatives. The Bachelor of Science from the University of Victoria and a leadership diploma from Thompson Rivers University. Karen combines professional success with a deep commitment to her community. Welcome. So I'll give you the option to read and you can repeat after me. Or you can just... Perfect. And again, this is a Nelson Police Board affirmation of confidentiality.
I, Karen Bennett, do solemnly affirm that I will be faithfully, honestly, and impartially perform my duties as a member of the Nelson Police Board. I will not, except in the proper performance of my duties, disclose to any person any information obtained in the course of those duties.
Awesome. Sign both or anything, sir? Congratulations, and please welcome new board member Karen Bennett. Fantastic. Great. Marta, just in time.
All right, thank you.
Come on over here.
Hey, yeah.
I'm Jason.
Your name?
Jason. Nice to meet you. It's a good thing. I don't look organized, but Charlotte had me all set up. Okay. Good pronunciation. Abel. Okay, perfect. Marta Abel is a human resource professional with a Master of Labor and Employment Relations and a certificate in conflict resolution and negotiation. You just missed our starting. In her human resources work, Marta supports conflict resolution, policy development, inclusive practices, and organizational change. She's committed to fostering respectful workplaces. A dedicated community volunteer and mother, she brings compassionate perspective to public service. She's honored to contribute to the Nelson Police Board's mission. And I believe you're currently at Selkirk College.
That's right.
Okay, great. Awesome. So again, you saw this.
Yes, I have to read that.
Yes, perfect. And again, this is the affirmation of confidentiality for the Nelson Police Board.
Okay.
Fire away.
I, Marta Abel, do solemnly affirm that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially perform my duties as a member of the Nelson Police Board. I will not, except in the proper performance of my duties, disclose to any person any information obtained in the course of those duties.
Awesome. Let's get some signatures. Ladies and gentlemen, first-time board member, Marta Abel.
Thank you.
Good job.
That concludes my duties, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome to all three of you. Welcome back.
Thank you.
It's fantastic to have such depth and talent and professionalism, diversity, because folks know this. You all represent the community, and that's a very, very important community police department. It's governed by community members. We can't do this job without the community having representation from the community. It's just that's something to do. So, welcome.
I was thinking maybe for Marta's sake, we just do a quick introduction to everybody.
Sorry I'm late, everyone.
You want to start over there or?
Yeah, sure, I'll start. I'm Devin. We met mentoring the interviews. I've been on the board for 3 years. And welcome.
I'm Sue Adam. I was on the board for 6 years and away for a year and have come back.
I'm Jason Jukes. I'm the Inspector of Operations here at the Police Department.
My name is Jason Laidman. I'm recently retired from Big PD, and this is my second short-term contract with Nelson Police as interim deputy chief, but acting chief while the chief is with me.
Oh, right.
Yes, happy to be back.
Cool.
Yeah.
Eric Harris, been on the board for over 2 years now.
Yes. Been on the board just over a year.
No, on the board for 4 years.
Karen, we met. Thanks, everyone.
We kind of did some of that, but we can talk later through some of the agenda. But I think the next step, take some feedback on how people want to approach this, is the election of the board chair. We need.
So Eric, can I just ask, is it just the board chair, like the vice chair position, which you fulfill, or acting as chair?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how long you've been in that, because this says once every 2 calendar years.
Almost a year, maybe.
Okay,
So
so
not-
so we
not
don't
a
need
year.
to necessarily address that unless,
Last July.
okay, unless you end up being board chair.
No,
We have to.
I'm pretty sure the legislation is the vice chairs every year.
Well, this one says once every calendar. It says
Oh, every calendar year?
every
2 calendar.
every
years.
2
For the
calendar.
vice chair.
It
For-
says both
oh,
chair
okay.
and
Yeah,
vice.
Okay.
There's an
Every
excerpt.
1 year.
There's an excerpt right in
Yeah,
there.
okay. Oh, in the, of course there
In
is.
the agenda.
I have to look at my agenda.
But I think Shiloh may some balance out if people are comfortable doing that, or we can take the other approach.
Does it need to be a secret ballot or?
Well, I don't like, I mean, I suppose we should see who's interested and then.
We need to
just-
have nominations first, do we not?
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay, well, I'm going to make a nomination for Eric.
Okay, I'd actually like to nominate Sue. 6 years of experience, I know she has a good working relationship with the chief, and yeah, that's why.
Okay, well, so
Yeah.
yeah, my rationale is Eric has, been in the vice chair position, so there's been some mentoring. And I think from a development of board opportunity, he's a younger board member, and we have the benefit of experience with Sue coming back. And so there's mentorship available. And so it's whether, and of course I, definitely support Sue too, but so the rationale is what you're doing. You could probably do it with your eyes closed. This is more development opportunity when we have a really good mentor available as well. And so, yeah, I don't think there's any right or wrong here. I think it's just a matter of, I guess, first of all, asking both of them if they might be actually interested.
Yeah, I kind of thought my assumption was Sue's back to kind of just keep the ship going in such a good direction. You did all the legwork, and I feel like we've continued that. But I mean, the department, even in the couple of years I've been, the changes have been dramatic in a positive way. Stats, I think you're.
Don't you want to be chair?
I will happily step in if it's not something you want to do.
So have you been chair? Were you?
No. Well, the part of that though, just like the legislation recently changed, right? The chair
Oh, it
was
was the mayor.
It was
Yes,
the
it
mayor,
was.
so there wasn't an election for a chair. So that's maybe like for context.
So it's
I
only
don't
been
think
1 year that
Exactly.
actually the board was allowed to have
their own
someone
chair.
other than the mayor.
So process-wise, how do we can send you guys out and vote, or you guys can vote too, or we can do secret ballots. I know, Shiloh, is there any precedent in terms of? No. Because this is a new sort of process, right? So, and I don't know what happened when Lena was appointed, but.
I think she was the only one who
Oh.
was interested.
Does the police acts speak to the chair voting? Or the chair is the tiebreaker?
Chair being a tiebreaker.
Would that be, is that the case when we're voting for the position of the chair though? That seems like a bit of an oddity. I don't know, if Jason, I know if you have it right there, but I'll try and find it too. I think we might want to do just write it on a piece of paper and then we can
Count it up after.
count it out.
Yeah, for sure.
It's an easy math equation.
Non-voting.
Oh, you already have this ready.
This ballot's ready to go. And Shiloh never disappoints.
No,
I tried.
And here's your
I
ballot.
don't know how the hell you do it, Shiloh.
Yeah, right.
Can we vote for Shiloh?
No.
Wait.
No.
So I think I probably won't.
Well,
I don't know. I think that everyone should vote. I think
Yeah.
that, yeah, we're picking the chair for the whole board. It's not like we're making a,
let's see, yeah, I think everyone votes and we'll see if there's a tie. Oh, did you find the section?
Yeah,
Sorry,
section,
faster.
chair and vice chair of municipal police board, section 25, sub 5. Chair is a non-voting member of the police board, with the exception that if there's a tie vote, the board chair must cast the deciding vote. Problem is,
We're voting.
Eric is running and voting for the chair.
And if there's a tie, he'll vote for himself.
Well, there's no, so that section doesn't have any exceptions for when we're voting for the chair.
That this is the chair and vice chair. So it starts off with every 2
Okay.
calendar years, municipal police board must elect one of its members as a chair, the other as a vice chair.
Okay.
If the office of the chair or the vice chair becomes vacant, the board must elect new chair or vice chair, and next meeting of the board after the vacancy occurs, which is today.
Yeah.
The vice chair must act as chair. Okay, the vice chair must act as chair if the chair is absent or unable to act. If both chair and vice chair are absent or unable to act, board members present at the meeting must select from amongst themselves to chair that presiding meeting. And then lastly, chair is a non-voting member of the municipal police board, with the exception if there's a tie vote at a meeting of the board, the chair must cast the deciding vote. And what I might suggest is that regardless of, to keep, I'll suggest this, because it appears to be silent in this particular scenario.
Yeah.
I would suggest that the course of action is that Eric abstains from voting, period. So if there is a tie between Sue and Eric, it wouldn't be very transparent, sort of just. Eric ended up, so I don't know. That would suggest.
So we would just revote.
Well, but anyone could vote without other ones, right? I mean, if I was saying I want to be the chair, I could vote for myself.
I thought we had to take nominations first.
Well, we did.
Can I make a suggestion?
Oh, yes.
That we vote and see if there's a tie?
And then
Well, no,
go
that's
from
what
there.
we're gonna do.
yeah. And then if it's a problem, I like
It
that.
is one other option that whoever's in second place becomes the vice chair, so we can do it all in one vote.
It would be a
Let's,
separate
no,
vote.
no,
It's a separate vote.
yeah, let's just do the
Fair
first
enough, Vice
vote
Chair.
and see what happens. I made a pen. Okay, so we're gonna do this and give it to you.
Well, then,
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Part of the early wrinkles of changes in the police act.
Figure it out.
To talk to Glenn about this one.
Well, it's just a bit of an oddity, especially if you just chair. Anyway, bring it up.
Eric didn't vote.
No, he's not going to vote. Do we have an even one? But we haven't even. Too bad, I thought we might have an odd number.
Yeah, it was Sue.
I mean, could be.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Welcome back, Sue.
I was gonna vote for Sue.
So can I nominate Eric as vice chair?
No, I
He
think I
already
stay.
is. He is.
I stay.
You just stay
He's
Yeah.
just acting today.
because you got another year as vice chair.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Nice to lie.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I think I'm still gonna raise police services.
Yeah, it is a bit of an odd situation.
So I'm done for tonight?
No, you're acting chair for tonight, Eric.
I didn't see that anywhere. Well, we've kind of done everything.
I think we've pretty much finished.
Except
this
for
meeting.
moving October meeting. So that's 8C. I don't know if anyone has,
Oh, do we want to talk about, we didn't do new business. 8B and 8G, we want to talk about committee?
yes. So for the board committee, that's just in there for, I think, people, especially the new members, to look at and kind of just think of what committees you would be interested in joining. And I think at next meeting, Sue's taking over, you can kind of slot people in.
Can I just make a comment about that?
Yeah,
When I saw the list of the committees, the only person who seems to be on every single committee is Devin.
Every single committee.
So I would say from a board functioning perspective as well as a contribution perspective, that I would encourage everyone to consider how they might be able to contribute. And from my perspective, it would be very helpful to have functioning committees that actually can do some of the behind the work activities and bring things to the board kind of more prepared. And anyways, I would just encourage everyone to think about that for themselves.
One of the things that in history is that we added numbers to the board. It used to be only 5 members and now we've increased it to 7. And the purpose was to be able to have enough people to actually do committee work. Because among the 5 of us, it was just nobody had enough time. So
I'm on every committee.
Yes.
does anyone have any questions about what the committees do before, I mean, for Karen and Martha especially, because you haven't been around.
I think I already have a sense of board committees in general. I think I'd be up for the HR committee, just given my professional background.
Yeah, that's one that there's 2 of us on. Yeah, we can share that.
Yeah.
We're not going to solve that tonight, right? So-
No, I just wondered if there was anything to clarify for people.
I don't remember saying I'd be the BCAPB executive. I thought that was Eric.
Nope, you,
I don't even remember.
Lena was at first, she was,
Yeah.
and then you said you were the end.
Okay.
You don't have to be, we, like,
No, I'm happy to. I just don't remember.
I thought I'm the.
Yeah. I think he's the BCAPV.
We have a meeting coming up.
Yeah, I'm like, I have no idea about that, so,
I'm getting stuff from them.
really?
I'll check.
Oh, I don't know. I've never been to a meeting for the BCAPV executive.
I haven't heard anything. from
I'm
him for a
pretty
while.
sure it's Eric.
Can we just put an action
Yeah.
item to follow up
Yeah.
with that and sort it out?
Shiloh, I think we were chatting about this before. You can throw me on the commendation award committee. Put me on there. That's okay. If that fits for,
I don't know whether you want to wait and to have that discussion after the new directors
Yeah.
look at it, and then next meeting.
Yep.
And you can revisit all the committees if you want.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, most of them.
So I guess we'll shove that to next meeting, and then for the October meeting, starting earlier, the mayor it's for the mayor,
It's
right?
the mayor, she asked for it to start earlier.
Did she say a specific time?
And I texted her to find out.
Are you not doing dinner that night?
I moved dinner 24, September 24th,
Oh, okay,
so that
Yeah.
Sue can make it. She can make it.
okay. I saw the invite. I just hit yes. I didn't even look at the date. Yep, it fits on my calendar.
Yeah, so like if there's a specific start time, that might actually help us decide. Because if it's 2 o'clock versus 4 o'clock, that makes a difference to some of us.
Did anyone else have anything they wanted to be brought up before we move on?
Well, I think we just need to decide on that and then we can close it.
Yeah, maybe an email once we know the time.
But the 8th is okay, it was just the start time. Okay, thank you.
Just for information, Eric, I'm going to be out of town that day. This trip was already planned before this came up.
so a lot earlier, like 24 hours earlier.
No, a lot more than that, actually.
All right, can I have a motion that the regular meeting of the 2025 Nelson Police Board be adjourned and the next meeting held on October 8th, 2025, 4:30? Seconded.
With a time to be determined?
Yeah.
All in favor? Okay. Done.